In today's episode of Emotional Code, we're dissecting the silent crisis haunting high achievers, the paradox of success. This audio recording includes subtitles, allowing you to follow along more mindfully and take in the ideas at a pace that feels right for you. You know that moment when you're lying awake at 3 a.m., replaying every mistake, every what if, every I should have done better, and the weight of it all pins you to the bed like gravity's been cranked up? Let's talk about that weight, not as a flaw, but as a clue, a signpost pointing to something deeper. Because here's the truth. Pressure isn't just stress, it's a language, a coded message about what we value, fear, and secretly believe we're worth. But let's back up. Why does success so often feel like a betrayal? Like the higher you climb, the thinner the air gets, and the lonelier? We're sold this myth that achievement will quiet the noise, that if we just do enough, be enough, prove enough, the static in our heads will finally cut to silence. Except it doesn't. If anything, the noise gets louder, more urgent, more you're one misstep away from losing it all. So what's really going on here? Let's follow the thread. Think about the last time you procrastinated on something that mattered to you. Not because you were lazy, because of that gnawing fear that it wouldn't be perfect. Maybe you drafted a post, then deleted it, started a project, then buried it in a folder labeled someday. Held back an idea in a meeting because it wasn't fully baked. We tell ourselves we're playing it safe, that we're protecting ourselves from judgment, from failure, from the terrifying act of being truly seen. But here's the irony. Perfectionism isn't a shield, it's a cage, a self-built prison where the walls are made of almosts and not yets. And the longer we stay inside, the more we forget what sunlight feels like. But sunlight's still there, waiting. You've felt it before, those fleeting golden moments when the pressure lifts. Maybe it's a walk where you're not counting steps or planning your next move, a conversation where you're not rehearsing your lines, just listening, laughing, existing. In those moments, you're not chasing enough. You are enough. Not because of what you've done, but because you're here, alive, breathing, human. So why does that feeling slip through our fingers so easily? Because we're wired to focus on lack. Our ancestors survived by scanning for danger. Where's the next meal? Is that a predator? Fast forward a few thousand years, and now we're scanning LinkedIn for promotions we should have. Instagram for relationships that look happier, TikTok for hobbies that seem more fulfilling, and your amygdala, that ancient alarm bell in your brain, it can't tell the difference between a saber tooth and a side eye. So it hits the panic button again and again and again. But here's where it gets interesting. You can rewire that panic, not by thinking positive, but by interrupting the story. Let me explain. When the pressure starts rising, heart racing, thoughts spiraling, that familiar I'm failing chant, try this. Freeze, literally. Stop moving. Feel your feet on the floor, your back against the chair, your breath moving in and out. Then ask yourself, what's actually happening here? Am I in danger, or does it just feel that way? Most of the time, you'll realize the stakes are fiction. The deadline, a made-up date. The criticism you fear, a hypothetical. The perfection you're chasing, a mirage. This isn't about giving up on your goals. It's about dethroning the stories that hijack your clarity. Because when you zoom out, you'll see you're not failing, you're feeling. And feeling isn't weakness, it's data, a compass pointing you toward what needs care, not control. But here's the catch. Society profits from your panic. Think about it. The wellness industry sells you serenity in a subscription box. Productivity gurus peddle life hacks that turn rest into another task. Even self-care gets twisted into a checklist. Meditate, journal, hydrate, until it's just another rod to measure yourself against. No wonder we're exhausted. We're treating ourselves like machines to optimize, not mysteries to behold. So let's rebel, not with grand gestures, but with micro moments of defiance, like hitting send on an email that's good enough. Taking a lunch break without a podcast blaring in your ears, staring out a window and calling it productive because you're letting your mind wander. These aren't indulgences. They're revolutions. Tiny acts of trust that say, I don't need to earn my humanity today. And what about joy? Real joy the kind that bubbles up when you're not performing, perfecting, or proving, is the ultimate antidote to pressure. But joy is fragile. It doesn't thrive in the glare of expectations. It needs shadow, space to breathe, permission to be unremarkable. So where do you find it? Start small, painfully small, the way your coffee smells in the morning, the absurdity of a pigeon strutting like it owns the sidewalk, the text from a friend that says, "Saw this meme and thought of you." These moments aren't trivial. They're lifelines, anchors that tether you to the present when the future feels like a storm. But to notice them, you have to slow down. And slowing down feels like a risk when everyone else is sprinting. That's the paradox, isn't it? We're afraid to slow down because we think we'll fall behind. But the real danger is not slowing down, losing ourselves in the race, only to arrive at a finish line that doesn't exist. So let's redefine success. Not as a destination, but as a dialogue, a conversation between who you are and who you're becoming, a dance between ambition and ease, between what's next and what's here. This isn't about balance. Balance is a myth. It's about rhythm, knowing when to push and when to pause, when to strive and when to surrender, when to wear ambition like a crown and when to toss it aside and run barefoot through the grass. And surrender isn't failure. Let me say that again. Surrender isn't failure. It's the bravest act of trust there is. Trust that the world won't end if you rest. Trust that your worth isn't tied to your output. Trust that you're allowed to take up space, not because of what you've achieved, but because you exist. So the next time pressure whispers, "You're not doing enough," whisper back, "Enough is a myth. I'm here. That's my power." Then go do something wildly unproductive. Stare at a cloud, doodle in the margins, call someone you love and say nothing important. Let yourself be bored, be average, be messy, be human. Because here's the secret no one tells you. The pressure can't survive that kind of rebellion. It thrives on your fear, your rush, your belief that you're one step away from enough. But when you stop feeding it, when you stand in the mess and say, "This is me and it's okay," that's when the weight cracks open. And inside, you'll find the thing you've been chasing all along. Yourself. And if this resonated with you, if even one sentence here made you think, "Yeah, I've been there," then let me ask you something. Why do we wait until we're drowning to talk about the weight we carry? Why do we hide our struggles like they're secrets when they're the very things that connect us? This isn't a goodbye. It's a let's keep talking. If you want more of these raw, unfiltered conversations, no toxic positivity, no hustle porn, just real talk about thriving in a world obsessed with more, hit that subscribe button. Every week, we dive deeper. We dissect the scripts society hands us and rewrite them together. We share stories, science, and the kind of strategies that don't require a 5 a.m. alarm clock. And hey, if you're tired of feeling like a machine in a world that keeps demanding upgrades, this is your invitation to opt out. To join a community that celebrates depth over dopamine, grace over grind, and imperfection as the ultimate act of rebellion. Hit subscribe, because you deserve more than surviving. You deserve to take up space, unapologetically. And if you're not ready, that's okay. Come back whenever you need a reminder that you're not alone, that you're already enough. Until next time, go easy on yourself.